Well, hi there, it's Sandy Alnock. Welcome to my channel. I'm hoping you're coming back because you saw the first one in this floral watercolor series. I think after the reaction to the first one, I'm probably going to start doing a few more here and there. We'll see how that goes. And I'm going to link to number 3 whenever that time comes at the end of this video. So I've left a space for it because I'm assuming I'm moving forward. When I shot the first video in this series, I used a different poppy stencil, and both of these are from Penny Black. So links to all the supplies are in the description down below and on my blog. And what I'm doing again is tracing it very lightly with a pencil and then adding a few more petals, a few more details to each one of the flowers. If you're following along by purchasing the stencil and then getting yourself some watercolor paper, just follow along, freeze frame, and you can draw exactly the lines in that I'm doing. I'm just doing it really lightly because you don't want to create any grooves in the paper. I'm using Distress watercolor cardstock this time from Ranger. Last time I used some artist's watercolor paper. So you can use either one for either one of these in the first 2 in the series. You'll just get a different texture. This one I wanted to be more graphical, so I was playing around with, I actually hadn't planned on doing anything more than filming for my own purposes, and I loved how it came out enough that you're getting this video, but I was just goofing around with what would happen if I let each of the petals be, I don't know, a little painting of its own, I guess. So I'm painting each one of the petals with a different red, orange, or yellow for the first base coat color. Kind of like I do with my Copics. I like to undercolor with something and then paint on top of that. So I'm just randomly going around and adding color to each one of the petals. You could do this with any color group that you want to if you're going to make your flowers even more artsy and go blues and purples or something like that. That would be beautiful as well. Some of them have more water in them, some of them have more thick paint in them. I'm just allowing the paintbrush to kind of tell me what to do with each one. Now I didn't just have a little accident. You can see there's some light dots across the center panel, the center of the panel that I'm painting on. And that happened because when I was washing off my brush and I was tapping it on the edge of the glass that's sitting right above where this paper is, I accidentally splattered. So I'm going to use that to my advantage in a little while and show you how I did that. And I thought that was a really fun little happy accident. So I'm filling all of my green leaves in with variety of amounts of water. So some are darker, some are lighter, some have sharper edges, some are more washy looking. And my stems are also a variety of weights and a variety of dark and light. And here, while I have the green on my brush, I made sure it was good and wet, and I flicked green across it. And what's different between that and then just taking a brush full of paint and flicking it on there is that I'm getting mostly water. So I'm getting real water drops. So it's giving me a variety of splotches, I guess, for my painting. And I really liked the look of it, so I thought it was really fun. So now that the flowers are mostly dry, I'm going over each one with another coat of something else. Different shade of whatever that color was that I had started with, and covering up some of it and letting some of that first coat show through, and just playing with the paint. You know, that's kind of the fun thing with watercolor is it's just kind of, it moves on its own if you have enough water with it, or it'll stay put if you paint with it, you know, less water and dry paper underneath. There's just a lot of different things it can do and different looks it can achieve. So I realized that I had not sketched in one of my stems, so I added that back in, and then I decided to fill in a few more leaves simply because it looked a little bare down there. But be careful not to fill in everything. You don't want on something like this for it to feel very rigid, like you worked really hard to fill it in. Right, that spot that I'm painting right now, I had gotten my hand in one of the flowers and leaned it apparently on the cardstock, so I'm going to take advantage of that and just add more flowers down here at the bottom. And now that I've gotten used to painting the petals at the top, it's real easy to do that right at the bottom without having the guidelines of a pencil mark to show me where those flowers are. I'm going to put a sentiment in the upper left-hand corner of this card, so I'm leaving that pretty empty, but I just wanted that base of the red at the bottom to be carried through with those flowers. So now my brush is filled with green paint, and I'm flicking that on so I get some dark dots. And I'm going to now heat dry it so that I'm able to work a little bit more into some of these flowers and add my final details to a couple of spots on there. You could also let it air dry, but you would achieve the same thing, it's just a little faster to heat set it. So the centers of poppies are a dark black, and I love the contrast of that dark black with all of this incredibly bright color that I've got going on here. So I'm trying to pick out which ones you would see the centers on. That one, the second one that I painted there, I didn't originally plan for that one to be open that direction, but the way the paint went on, it looked like it could be open. And sorry for this going off the screen there. Had a little issue with my paper sliding down on me. So then I decided I wanted to try something else, and this was a fail, but I'll show you how I recovered a little bit from my fail. I wanted to add just some really sharp black spots on a few other things, and because I really like that contrast. And then as soon as I did this one, I went, oh, wait a minute. I think I'm overthinking it. I think I'm getting a little crazy. So I cleaned my brush off, got all that black off, and then I painted right over it with red. So now I just have a really dark red underneath it there. And I'm going to spread out some of that. And I'm not very happy with that one spot on that second flower there. Didn't recover very well, and it is what it is. Sometimes you just go too far, and that's one of the spots where I really felt like I did push it a little more than I wanted. But here is the card, same kind of design as last time, with just the painting on black cardstock with 2 strips on either side, left showing the black, and a very simple sentiment. All the supplies for this are listed in the description as well as on my blog. You can click in the upper right hand corner to get to my blog and see lots more information. And linked here is the first video in the series, and if there's a number 3, it's going to be linked here. The more comments you guys leave, the faster I'm going to get to video number 3. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.